Good evening, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to call to order the Town of Winchester Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, March 9th, 2029. We'll do roll call first, starting on the left.
Scott Eisenler.
John Cooney.
Peter Marchand.
David Platt.
Adam Quagliaroli.
And Rista and Jan and Charlene are all absent and excused. Okay. I think I got everybody.
Yep.
That one. All right. Agenda review. Anybody have anything?
You gonna sit anybody for Rista? Scott.
Oh, yeah, we're going to seat Scott tonight in Vista's place. Agenda review? No, okay. So we're going to have public comment. If anybody has anything they want to say, it's not related to anything on the agenda. No, okay. So we're going to go on to the public hearings. PZC 26-1, applicant Ashley Home, location 309 Colebrook Roads. Proposal special permit for home occupation, cottage food operations, zone RR. Are you here?
Yes.
Are these working?
Should be. They're for the broadcast though, not for in the
You need
room.
to turn on her mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that one. Get the, where it says microphone.
Just I need those red buttons.
Little microphone figure there. There you go. Yep.
That's great.
All right. Explain to us what you want to do.
Yeah, so I want to open a cottage foods operation out of my home, and learning all about that process has been an endeavor. But one of the major things that the state requires is that we get a permission from our zoning commission, make sure that we're properly permitted or whatever we need. So I learned that I needed to apply for the special permit because that's the home occupation. So essentially a cottage foods operation, pretty basic on my end. In Connecticut, we're not allowed to have any like farm stands. We have to do person-to-person sales. So the only sales that I would do would be handing off those baked goods, mostly cupcakes and cookies, to people who purchase them from me either via like online sales or calling me to purchase. I don't plan to do much selling from my home. If you've been to my house, you know my driveway's a beast, and I don't want anybody on my driveway. Way too much liability for me. So most of it would be done at either farmers markets or delivering food to people's homes. So really not a lot of impact to my neighbors in any way, but it'd just be baking out of my own home kitchen, which is what's required under the cottage food laws in Connecticut.
All right, does anybody on the board have any questions?
I have none.
I don't have any either, since you're not going to sell from home, and you're not allowed to sell from home, so. Seeing no questions, Scott, John?
I'm good.
Everybody's good?
No
Adam?
signage,
No signage, no.
No signage, no nothing. All right, so we're going to close public hearing PZ 26-1. Propose we, okay, I'll vote.
Yep, we'll vote later.
Yeah, thank you.
As we get to the whole business.
Is there a vote for closing it?
Yep. Everybody in favor of closing the public hearing? Yep.
Okay.
Unanimous.
You made the motion, Peter. You seconded.
I second.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we're supposed to open PZC 26-2, applicant Paul Sino, on behalf of Bachelor Apartments, location 179 Pratt Street. Proposed modification to existing permit for affordable housing, zone TCF.
Oh, yeah, hi, this is Paul Salvo on that street remote.
Okay. Coming in behind.
Yeah, thank you very much for allowing me to do this today. I know we've had a couple of cancellations due to storms, and now I happen to be away. Could I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I can see that, so you can as well. Thank you very much, Paul Salmo, architect, Travis Salmo Associates, and we were here before, and we had a special permit for the Bachelor School. What I'm showing you here on this rendering is the revised entrance location. It was up in this location right now, and we've simply moved it down here. So the changes that I'd like to discuss tonight are relatively minor, and they do not impact any impervious areas. So originally, we had 35 units of housing, 53 bedrooms. What we are proposing is 37 units of housing and 56 bedrooms. Previously permitted, we had 53 bedrooms, required of 40 parking spaces, and we were providing 63. So now we have 56 bedrooms, need 42 spaces, and we're providing 62. You can see from this calculation that we are still over the minimum parking requirement, and it's only reduced by 1. And in this particular diagram, you can see up here in the upper left that originally we had an exterior vestibule and a covered entryway, and there was parking right along this side of the building. What we've done, and this is related to the interior changes, is that we've relocated and removed, where we removed that vestibule, we've relocated the covered entrance down close to where the existing entrance, side entrance to the building was at one point. And we have a covered entry at that place, and then relocated some of these parking spaces. So from the side plan, originally on the left, you can see that right at this location was our original vestibule. We had cars parked along this area and then down into here. And then what we did is we relocated the entrance right down into this area and relocated these parking spaces up into this zone where we had the original entrance. So you can see this was all impervious area previously, and it's all impervious area now. So we're not increasing any. We have what amounted to a small parking space right here in this catch basin. A little tricky area for parking, so we have to remove that zone from the parking lot. So that's where we have the one parking space reduction. So this is the exterior elevation that you can see originally. This was our entrance vestibule projection, and now we just have that canopy as it projects through the face of the building. So if we can get into the interiors a little bit, I can show you part of what has also been revised. So here was that vestibule that we've been talking about, and that's been relocated. Now, originally, we had a very large open, or a very large internal space that had a great deal of common area. What we've done is to reduce some of that common area. We still have the multi-purpose space that was important to our client. We have a larger area for maintenance. We still have the fitness area, but we've reduced it down from 7 to 8 pieces of equipment down to 3. The laundry area did not decrease in size and is actually, still in a very good central location. The tenant storage that was over in the original location, we actually took those individual storage areas and actually incorporated them into the apartments. So we no longer need a separate storage volume because we're providing storage inside the apartments. So as you can see by the revisions, we've kept the apartment over to here, although changed those 2 studios into a 2-bedroom. Where we had common area, we added 2 more apartments into here, and studios, 1 studio here. Here's the common entrance that's coming through. The offices for staff are still located, and here is still the common fitness and laundry area that we were speaking about. So this is one of the primary changes that brought about the increased unit size. The other one happened up in the other area portion of the building where we previously had a studio and the one bedroom over here. This was a very tough studio, was why we relocated that. And we actually have a storage area that we're creating along this portion of the building to allow an entrance from the exterior directly into the building. This will make servicing equipment, bring furniture in a lot easier as we come in through here. The elevator is right in this area, so that makes that significantly easier. So again, these were the, minor changes that we're doing here in the building that, increase our unit and bedroom count. And since we were here for a special permit previously, we're here again tonight to show these revisions to that special permit. So I'd be more than glad to answer any questions.
All right, anybody want to start, or you want me to start? All right. I know in the, like, report that we got, our town planner, you have spots for electric charging vehicles?
Yes, we do.
And where are those located? Oh, okay.
Right.
All right, I found it now.
So,
Yeah,
none of those will be located near the building, correct?
yes. Yeah, here's the note right in through here, so they're all right along through here.
Like I said, none of them will be located next to the building, right?
Not directly, no, they're not in the area where the canopy, I mean, they're adjacent in the existing parking lot, but they're not directly near the building. That's all.
Okay, no, I'm just looking good for that.
So are
Fire hazard.
those electric charging stations counted in your parking areas? Your total parking?
Yes, they have, yeah, they're part of the total.
Okay. So the other question that I have is your garbage truck's gonna come in and then make a big swing and pull into
Yeah.
the dumpsters. But
Correct.
your plotted plan here, it looks like it's gonna run into your overhang. Because I see where the anchors are for your overhang, and if you look at your picture, your overhang actually comes out a lot farther than where the legs are. So, is it gonna hit your overhang, or are you guys gonna miss that?
No, it'll be just that, the overhang, you can see, it doesn't extend past the sidewalk area. It does go past these diagonals, but it does not overhang into the dry zone in here, so it does stop. Probably in and around about a foot or so back from this area. So it will not interfere, with that.
And
So
you're,
this radius was the original radius that we had presented before on how the trash would come in. And it does in fact miss everything that, the parking spaces and also that covered canopy.
and that garbage truck is gonna go all the way up around and back to the school to turn around?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the site. I mean, we're up on the hill, we've gotta have people, anyone that comes in with a large vehicle is gonna have to turn around and come all the way around the backside and then turn around in the turnaround area that we have. I can show you that. Now, they're gonna have to drive, because they can't back up, there's no way to turn around in this zone here because of grade and slope, so they're gonna have to turn around, come back in here, turn around and drive out. So that'll hold true for any vehicle that was coming to the site previously and also now. This was the way that we had originally permitted, so no change to that.
Scott?
Well, I'm just thinking if they go up and around the building, I used to plow it, the roof sticks out like 3 or 4 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go up there, you're gonna have to stay way out around the building, go all the way along the back and then turn around someplace and then come all the way back again.
Yeah, the overhang does not go over the roadway. So, yeah, and there are patios back there, and there's a fence, a screen fence that does come out, but the roadway does not go underneath that rear overhang. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way the site, I lost my share, but that's, yep. Oh, I think it's back. Yeah, that's unfortunately the way that the site has been in operation, and, still exists today. There simply is no other location for trash. The trash is pretty much in that spot. We've made that better. But vehicles are just gonna have to turn around as we presented last time.
So this issue came up last time about vehicle having to turn around, and before we were talking about like a landscape trailer, and basically said, I recall that we weren't going to expand the turnaround area up top, and I'm looking at it, and yes, we did not expand it, but if I'm looking at the radius turn that garbage truck is taking to get to the refuse, and if I just visually apply that to the upper portion, there's no way they're making that turn and turning around up there. In my opinion, I didn't overlay it directly, but if I use the same radius that you're providing to get to the dumpster and apply it up top, I don't see them turning around up there.
And there's also.
All right, well, I mean, we do have ample space back there to increase that, and we'll definitely plot that and submit that, to the planner to ensure that is met. We are well under the impervious area, so as we are reducing a significant amount, so increasing that slightly to do that certainly will be an impact or a detriment for the project, but I have no problems with putting that same radius back there and expanding it that way.
Okay, and 10 of your extra parking spots you've been talking about are up in the top there, right? Where the garbage truck's gonna turn around?
There are some parking in here that has always been there, yeah, but they come back in here, they back up and then turn out. So they would radius back this way. They would either pull in, back out, and go up. So I can change this radius, extend this, so it'll be right in this curve, to allow someone to get that, and we can show how that vehicle can turn and then come out.
I don't ever recall the garbage trucks going out back and turning around. I think they had enough room where they were to back up to the dumpsters, then come back out the same way.
They have a dumpster next to the building.
That's where they used to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the school is. Yeah. They're up against the building. That's where the kitchen is.
And will that road going around the school be paved?
Yeah, it is paved now and it will remain paved, yeah. Because we actually have parking back in through here and it is part of the egress path. I think the fire department would also want to keep that, so that'll be fully paved and maintained, yeah.
So do you have an alternative now that we're talking about it? Any?
The only alternative that I can see here because of the grades on this site is to extend and revise this radius back in the back portion of the building. For that truck to come down in here, back up, and exit around the building again. I mean, we explored a lot of other locations. We even explored putting the dumpster in the back of the building. That means the vehicles would have to drive all the way around to pick up the trash and then leave the same way. We felt that this location would be more convenient, particularly because this is where the majority of the parking would be, so the residents can use this trash location and allow the truck to pick it up and still go around the back. So the only other location for the dumpster other than this spot would be in this rear area.
Well,
and see,
it seems
Right.
pertinent to leave the dumpster where it is because it's most convenient to the residents, and you got a better chance of the garbage ending up in the dumpster. So
Correct.
I don't think that's an issue. I think what we're looking at is trying to get that, garbage truck turned around at the top. I think that's
as
where,
I said, I could change that radius that I'm right in the field where my cursor is. I can widen that radius and extend this, and I'll map that out and submit that, you know, to the planner to make sure that we actually have that, taken care of.
What's that crosshatch area that's right there? I can't see it labeled. Where the 4 parking
So that crosshatch area was in fact existing pavement that we're actually removing as part of the impervious area that we're now making just, you know, lawn area and pervious areas. So as I said, we are reducing it significantly, so increasing a little bit more pavement in there certainly would not change our coverage to a great extent, and we'd still be significantly under what the current drainage situation is on the property.
I think we're talking about two different things here. I think Scott's talking about where the 10 parking spots are.
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Yeah, well,
prevent
it's all
that.
pavement now.
Yeah, but this is where the 10 parking spots are,
I'm
and
just
we're
trying
not
to-
removing that, right?
I'm just trying to find a way to prevent the truck from going around the building.
Oh.
Because when you go around the building, I didn't know it was paved.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't been there in a while, and I know the roof overhang hangs way out, and I know there's a drainage ditch that's between the
On the
building and the
backside, yeah.
slope.
At the slope of the hill.
Yeah.
There's a drainage ditch there, there's a swale.
Yeah, but we're not, you know, the roadway is, as I said, is still beyond that overhang, which does come out. And there is a drainage swale that we are not changing. We're not increasing the width of the road. I too wish there was a different way to turn the truck around as opposed to just simply backing up the way they came in, which I don't think would be a safe way to have anyone exit.
No, I see something getting run into, trying to back out of there.
You know, trying to locate it, you know, the one place to do it is the one place that I certainly would not want to propose, and that would be in the front of the property, right over in here.
Where the snow
Okay,
area is.
that is not a good location visually for a dumpster,
No,
where the truck would come in, pick it up, back up slightly and turn around and stay in this zone. But this is not, this would be putting a dumpster in the front yard.
mm-hmm,
And that certainly is not, in my opinion, an ideal location from a, you know, from a planning standpoint, or quite frankly, may not even be allowed for your zoning. So this is why we've kept it, you know, back here. It's kind of where it is right now.
So, Mr. Chairman, I think because of the length of that road and the access into that building in the back, they need to have turnaround back there for fire truck access anyway.
Okay.
So that turnaround has to be there. It's not ideal for the residents that the dumpster, the garbage truck is gonna run back there once a week, or however often the pickup is. I assume it's probably once a week. It's not ideal for the residents, but, you know, the site doesn't lend itself well to any other configuration, so.
right, and that's what I think we're all
Yeah.
thinking about here, is there's not enough room to turn the
Right, so-
garbage truck around.
So I think, you know, you could do one of two things. You could either ask that a turning radius plan be submitted for your next meeting and review it in a couple of weeks, or you can make that a condition of approval, where a turning radius plan for the back be submitted to staff, and we'll review it and make sure that we'll take a look at it and make sure that the turnaround works.
So he just
Do it
said
that
he wasn't
either way.
gonna change the ditch, meaning it's tight. If you're not changing anything
It
back
is,
there,
it is very tight.
unless you put a pipe in.
I don't wanna add to the cost.
I mean, it's very tight. I could also review this with staff. I could provide a complete section, which I don't have here, to show you where that stops. Where I could add some protection around the corner, the bollards, to force people to drive around instead of coming, closer to the roof. I don't think they would hit it but I can certainly do that. And I could review this radius back here with staff and make sure that we have, a safe egress. I mean, to the point, fire trucks have to do the exact same thing.
So the turning
I didn't
radius,
get any comments from the turning radius from the fire department, so I thought we were okay. But I have no issue with making it longer and making sure that staff is perfectly satisfied with that.
so the turning radius would be for the garbage trucks and the fire department.
Right.
And is this
Correct.
something you can have our public works engineer look at?
Well, we'll get the specs on the vehicles that we have, and the garbage truck specs are pretty standard. It looks like he's already used those. So we can take a look
Right.
at it from that standpoint, and we'll send it to John. He'll certainly have
There are a
experience
lot of
with
trucks,
that.
48
Right.
foot trucks, so.
Right. So we'll get the specs, we'll get those over to Paul, have him do a turning radius plan up there. We'll have John review it, Chief Field take a look at it, and we'll go from there.
Are we good with that? I just don't like the idea of him going around the back. But I haven't been around the back in 20 years. But I know it was tight.
And that was with a small truck.
Oh, 1 ton.
Paul, you've got the plans in front of you. How wide is that road that goes around back of the school?
Before he answers, it can't be too wide, because if he's not changing the ditch when you go around a corner, the drainage ditch is right
Yeah, I
there.
just wanna know what the width is.
And when you're going around a corner, you usually stick close to the building, so my trucks would be under the roof. It's just not, I think it sticks out 3 or 4 feet. It sticks out, the roof sticks out quite a bit.
Yeah, that roof's a
Right,
good 3 to 4
right.
feet.
Yeah, at least it comes out.
At least that's a long overhang.
If you found a different
I
location
have
for
to
the
double check
dumpsters.
and get back to it. I don't see a dimension on there. We didn't read dimension.
I can scale it.
Yeah, I don't seem to have that. I don't have the entire set with me. I'm sorry, as I am completely remote.
It's not perfect.
The radius,
18 feet.
as I see, comes up into here. The building stops farther back.
22 feet.
And the overhang is into here, so there is clearly space. It's tight, but there's space.
Yeah, it's about 20 feet wide.
That's about right.
Yeah, it's about 22 feet in some areas.
Yeah, that's about right. I didn't want to guess, but since you can scale it, that's about right.
Scott, here. Satellite. Paul, down at the, by the old barn there, you've got snow stacking areas on adjoining property that's owned by the town. Do you have an agreement with them to put snow there?
I don't see us putting anything there.
Well,
We've got areas.
there's 3 snow stacking areas listed here on our print. And it's on adjoining property.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if there's any agreement with the property owner to put snow there.
I know that the town has been working with the owner on the actual final agreements. I don't know if that is in fact listed in there yet, but I can make sure that that is the case.
Okay.
Anybody else got any questions?
Well, we talked about this, again, the point of contention, the tight turns. I have been up there recently, and this being two-way traffic, I know the trash truck's only gonna be going out there, I guess, once a week, but there's no stopping somebody else coming up the other way when that trash truck's leaving. And there's 2 corners on here where that's gonna be a problem, not just because the corner of the building sticking out, but if you go west, down that way and take that tight turn down at the end where you say you're gonna be stacking the snow, if it's any, you ever have a winter like this winter, you're not gonna see anything coming up into that turn to even see a trash truck coming down that straightaway here to that corner. You know where I'm talking about there? On the west side, under area 2, where you have the snow stacking area there by the corner of the building.
You're talking, is this down here? Or are you talking about
Here. Yeah,
right in there?
yeah. I think that's gonna be another bad spot too. Not just that corner where the building sticks out, but there too. Because I have
I
driven
mean,
up.
we have other areas where where snow can be stacked.
Yeah, I think if that were, a snow stacking area, I think that would be a visibility problem, just knowing what it's.
I mean, we have other areas that we can certainly use. We certainly have a front area that we can put it in. We have a lot of back area that we can push things in or move it to if need be. If things get, out of hand like they have this winter, I agree. So I think there is certainly a lot of locations on the site where it could be placed. If you deem that those areas right now were not conducive. We certainly have other site areas where we could go.
Well, I'm trying to think what else would be going back there besides a trash truck. But I've driven a large pickup up through there, and I never encountered anybody coming the other way, but I can imagine if I did, even if there was no snow, it would be a difficult maneuver for two people to, somebody's gonna have to wait or kind of pull over or something like that, I think,
Something.
in this case. Honestly, I don't see any other way around it. And this must have been a problem, because if you go up there, I think even today, if you go up there, there's a one-way street sign up there, right at the end of that entrance, which is strange, because
No way out.
there's no way out if it's a one-way street, right?
Yeah, I mean, that, I may have just been there because it was a school. I mean, I think the road's wide enough to let it happen both directions. I mean, granted, it is tight. But I suspect the signage up there was more related to the fact that it was a school. Not so much for the width of the road. So yeah, I mean, maintenance is gonna be important. We can look at other areas where, in unusual situations like what we're in, snow would have to be moved to different areas.
Yeah, keep in mind, everybody, too, that piece of it was all approved already.
Right.
So we're here to talk about the changes. I do want to make sure that we get the turnaround radius right, since we have an opportunity to work with them and make sure that radius fits the trucks that it needs to fit. But, the rest of that whole thing was already approved, so we really can't kind of go back in time. We're looking at the adjustments here.
The only thing it did alter was the entrance of the area. So when we originally approved it, I saw the truck swinging closer to the building where the new entrance is now, and then being able to back out and do a K-turn to get out. Now I suspect, I don't think you could do a K-turn in that area. Provided, I think you have here a full-size refuse truck, possibly a single axle or dual axle, would have a tighter turning radius and be, get in there easier. I don't know.
I just don't recall ever turning around. I've always seen them come up there, pull ahead, grab the garbage, and drive back out.
Right.
Which is probably what will happen anyways.
It's possible.
When the driver
But the
gets there,
provisions
'cause
should
I'm
be
not
made.
going up
I'm sure
there.
the driver will
It's
find his
entirely
way out.
possible that they may, maybe they're gonna find a different way to do it, but.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I do know that the garbage trucks that come up on that street now are usually single axle.
Yeah.
Nothing big with like tandem axles. I just don't like the idea of him going around. If he can just make it work the way it is. I don't want him to have to spend the money on the turning radiuses, as long as the fire department will be fine with it. even if we created a parking spot, an extra one, and put the dumpsters there, just so we can back up to them and come back out again. I don't think he realizes the damage that some cowboy will be in a garbage truck shooting around the building because he's in a hurry.
Just trying to keep it simple for them.
Anything else, Adam?
The only thing else I have is, so we increase the number of rooms or occupancy. How does that affect the parking? Do we need to add more parking? I saw we only have 30 spaces, right?
No,
I'm sorry,
had
is that-
enough parking, I thought.
Plenty of parking?
We are
Okay.
actually over, yeah, we're over parked by 20 spaces.
52 down here,
Gotcha.
and
Sorry.
there's 10 up in here. If in some sort of building complex.
Yeah. 1.5 times that.
So it's 750 per building.
Yep.
Yeah, it exceeds requirements.
Yeah, we have that. Does anybody else have anything?
I just wanted to ask real quick, what does the elevator do? There's an elevator
Yeah,
to go with?
to the second story.
I didn't realize.
Because
it
it's
was-
built in.
So,
No,
this is,
this
so
whole
this is
upper building.
a,
So,
Oh, I got you. So the behind building is upper level
Yeah.
and the front building.
Yep.
I got you.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a one-story structure, but because of the grade, it needs that elevator.
So if everybody is good with staff reviewing the turning radius, we should probably close the public hearing with staff.
you got any public comment?
Oh,
There's a public hearing.
forgot the public comment. Anybody got anything they want to say?
Deirdre DeCara, South Road, Winchester. And as chair of the board of Winchester Housing Partners, I just want to, bachelor was my grammar school. I was the first class kindergarten in sixth grade. And we're very happy to make this project happen for the whole community. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay.
I make a motion to public.
One more thing, if staff reviews it with the applicant and they want to put an extra parking spot in, are we sort of okay with that? I'm trying to find alternatives for them to discuss.
Oh, to deal with the dumpster?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
There's 10 extra spots. Actually, yeah, a lot more
More
than
than
10.
that,
Yeah.
20.
Actually, we have 20.
20.
Okay. All right.
I'll make a motion, we close PZC 26-2, public hearing.
I'll second it. All in favor? Okay, unanimous.
Thank you very much, and thanks again for letting me do this.
Move things
Yeah.
around if you
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to do an agenda review to move item C, PZC 25-20, after the old business, after we conduct old business A and B.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. All right, so now we're on to old business, PZC 26-1, Ashley Home, 309 Colbrook Road, special permit for home occupation, cottage food operation, zone RR. I motion that we entertain that.
Approve.
Second?
Second, yep.
Okay. And anybody got any discussion? Nobody? Okay.
Good.
All in favor? You're good?
You're all set.
It's a long time coming.
Yes, it's
Do
been
you
a
have-
process.
Do you have any motion for bachelor from him? We need that whole legal.
You've got the,
I have it, you were faster than I could pull it up, but I've got the draft motion
Come on,
for you, so
come on.
it's, you're all
You
set.
know us, you know us.
I know, I'm working on getting the next one up for you.
so do we have to read the one?
No, you don't have to read it.
Okay.
This is the one we've got for Bachelor. I figure this is more important because you'll have
I'll make a
potentially.
motion to approve application 26-2, special permit, owner Winchester, I'll read it from this.
Winchester Housing
Yeah,
Partners
Winchester
LLC.
Housing Partners LLC at 179 Pratt Street. Proposal modification to the existing special permit for affordable housing zone, town single family. I'd like to add 2 conditions to it. 1, a written agreement with the town of Winchester for snow stacking areas. And 2, an updated plan with all radiuses shown for garbage truck and all town fire apparatus to be approved by the planning staff and the Winchester Fire Chief, John Field. I can give you that in writing, so.
Okay, that's great.
All right, I'll second it. Wait for you to get it all in, I guess.
Well, that's all right. I've got it in writing.
All right,
I'll catch up to you
If you
later.
can read it.
I can read it. You're fine.
all in favor?
Better than mine.
Okay,
That's it.
you're good.
Now we've got to open a public hearing for the. Hmm?
I think I know who, but we'll figure that out later.
All right, so now we'll go back to public hearings, item C. Applicant Town of Winchester, proposal update zoning regulations, section 415-26, 415-38, 415-40, 415-19, 415-21, 415-55, and Appendix A use table. Do you have a second?
I'll second. Adam? Yep.
All in favor? Okay.
Okay, so, the last time we met, I think we were all pretty well content with where we were on the changes to the regs and the use table. But I wanted a chance to go through and clean up any last little typos or confusing points or whatever. In the office, we were talking about the use table, and the use table had ZP for zoning permit, P for site plan, and SP for special permits. And there was at least 1 or 2 conversations that we had with members of the public recently where they thought P stood for permitted, meaning they didn't need a permit. So we decided that it might make sense to clean up the use table and just standardize our abbreviations. So what you'll see here is a whole bunch of purple, which indicates the new abbreviations. So what we're looking at is A, which is allowed, and you're only gonna find 1 of those in the use table, and that has to do with our homesteading cart that we've been talking about. ZP, which is zoning permits, SP, which is site plan approval, and SUP, which is special use permit. So we went through and made those changes just to kind of clarify things. And so you'll see that suggested change. If you don't like it, we don't have to keep it, that's fine by us, but that's just, we started to have these conversations over the last couple of weeks. Let's try to make this thing a little bit more standardized. This is how you'll find it in a lot of communities. And that way, hopefully, we can avoid the question of, oh, it's P, it's permitted, I can just do it without it,
So go back up to the top again.
Yep,
So
Some
A
towns
is,
have that P in there for permanent.
right.
A is allowed, no permit required, and all the rest is zoning permit, site plan, special permit, not permitted, not if it's blank, okay. If
I
it
think
re-
that explains it very well.
If it stops confusion, I'm for it.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do.
So, I don't think there's any other changes in here. We had already talked about some of the stuff that we need to do for Public Act, Special Session Public Act 2125. So I think we made a couple of minor adjustments over the last couple of months, but for the most part, everything here is as it has been. We changed a few uses from special permits over to site plan, namely mixed-use buildings here on Main Street. We changed a couple of things from site plan over to zoning permit, just to make the process a little bit more expedited. But I don't, we have not suggested any other changes since the last time we met a couple of weeks ago. So what's there is what you've seen.
Just a question on this, with the updated housing bills, things like that, should we go on approving these until we get a better understanding? Or
We could.
do you see for more changes?
I foresee the potential for a few minor tweaks to some sections that we did not include in the legal notice for these batch of changes. So I think it's okay to go ahead and move forward on this stuff. I know a few of you have registered for the session that we're holding on Wednesday night with regard to that legislation. And then I think we can really dive into.
Tweak them at a later date?
Yeah, because with that may come some mapping changes with regard to the allowance for parking mitigation zones. We may want to talk about that in a few areas. We've been kicking around some ideas. So once we get through Wednesday night and you guys have sort of a better understanding of that legislation, I think we'll come back to you with some of our thoughts that we've been kicking around for the last couple of months. And like I said, that's going to impact areas of the regulation that are not under the special, or the legal notice that we've put together anyway. So we'd have to go back to it.
We can put an effective date that they're approved by, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
someday we'll actually see a printed copy.
Someday you'll see a printed
I
copy.
mean, it is March.
They're online.
It is March. It is March.
What was your,
I was told February maybe I'd see
Yeah,
a
but then
printed
we got
copy.
into this.
Yeah.
Well, so,
Okay. So we don't make any more changes.
you're right, and I will take it on the chin. We said February because we thought we were gonna approve back in January, and then we had a snowstorm, and we had a this, and we had a
My
that.
memory's not gone yet.
Yeah,
but
I
it's-
know.
Okay.
And then the text of the language itself hasn't changed at all. I may have caught a couple extra typos here or there, but nothing has changed since 2 weeks ago.
The changes are great, really. It's a lot of updating that needed to be done.
Yeah. Okay.
I think last time we ran through this, it was pretty much up to date. I think the one meeting, it's been so long now, I don't remember.
Yeah. It was January when we did it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing from the last meeting, which, was a month ago because we missed the meeting 2 weeks ago, was I had asked for extra time to just go through one more time
Yeah.
and make sure
No.
that the language was clean.
No, it's appreciated very much. It cleaned them up a lot.
Wow, good work all around.
Good work to all of you.
Did we take out, for retail smoke shop, we took out and/or contains the areas for consumption of smokable products? I know that was, we discussed that.
Let's take a
We
look.
talked about taking it up.
I think I made that change during the meeting, but let's double check.
After a combination above. Yep, it's removed.
Yeah, it's
All
gone.
right.
Yep.
So do we want to close the public hearing and act on this tonight, or we want to hold off a little longer?
If the commission's comfortable moving forward, I'm comfortable.
Move
I
it,
don't think-
get it done.
And then we can start fresh in a couple of weeks or a month on the
Start all
new
over again.
legislation. Start all over again.
Scott, any comments?
I'm good.
You're good?
No, I feel good about it.
Okay, so I move to close the public hearing
25-20.
25-2520.
Second?
Yep, John.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so then we can move on to old business, PZ-25-20, applicant Town of Winchester, proposal update zoning regulations, sections 415-26, 415-38, 415-40, 415-19, 415-21, 415-55, appendix A use. So make a motion to approve these.
Second.
Scott,
Go ahead, I'm good.
you're good?
I was rushing about, I'm sorry.
You second it?
I did.
Okay, all in favor? All right, you're good. Now we move on to new business, PC 26-3, applicant Roxanne O'Neill, location 150 Ashley Road, proposal of special permit from home occupation, cottage food industry, zone RR.
So we need to submit a public hearing?
Yeah, this is, we need a public hearing for this
Okay.
one, so, yep.
And
Hi.
There we go.
So I'm just gonna be
Actually-
baking, you good?
actually, we're just accepting tonight.
So we're gonna set the
so-
public hearing, yes.
So I'm good?
now.
Or,
You're
Till the
not
next
good,
meeting.
we're gonna set a public hearing, and we're just accepting it, and then,
Application, yeah.
Yeah, we're accepting the application.
okay,
Yes.
And from the first one, earlier one, you know, what the questions we're gonna ask you to say something, but tonight, we're not doing any business on it, other than accepting it.
No,
I'll
I'm
make a
good.
motion to accept, schedule a public hearing for PZC 26-3 on our March 23rd meeting at 7 PM.
Second?
I'm gonna hold you off on that for just 1 second, because I think the 23rd is less than 15 days, and we've
Okay.
got to
Yeah,
do
14.
public meet notices, and she's gotta get a sign
Yeah.
up and all
Yeah,
that stuff,
so we
so,
gotta go until April?
yeah, so April,
13.
yeah, April 13th is your first meeting in April.
April. I changed, amend that motion to public hearing, it'll be April 13th at 7 PM.
I changed my second.
Oh. You second it, John?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor? Okay.
So,
We'll
April
see you
13th, we'll see you on the
okay,
13th.
thank you. Have a good night.
Okay. Now we're on to other business.
Other business.
Other business, so, go ahead. I was just gonna ask about the class on Wednesday, but.
Yeah, so that's, so I've mentioned this the last couple of meetings, I think. We've sent out the flyer, we've sent out the registration. That is, Tyke has hired Haller and Sage to run this meeting. We'll do some bits and pieces of it. Some of our staff will do bits and pieces of it, but it'll mostly be Mark Brantz and Ken Slater. It's free for you all. It's for our client towns. It's fully online. It's at 7 o'clock. We ask that you register, because that's the only way you're gonna get the link to go to the meeting. It's 2 hours, and it's worth commissioner training credit, so we will give you those 2 hours if you attend. And because it's the housing legislation, you get that 1 hour of affordable housing commissioner training.
I got so many 1 hour.
We already got a bunch of that.
Okay, well, you know, that's okay. Stack them up.
5 years.
Stack them up. You're okay.
Confirmation for my last hour.
So, you know, we've got the registration, so we know who in our towns is registered, and if you watch it, we'll know that you watched it. And we'll give you that credit. We're not gonna send you a certificate, it's too much work for me. But we'll know that you're there.
And we'll get we'll get the link tomorrow.
Yeah, you should have already gotten, oh, yeah, you'll get the link to get into the meeting. Yes, if it hasn't hit your email yet, you'll get it tomorrow.
Because that's Thursday night.
It's
Wednesday.
Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
So we look at the email you sent us and sign up.
Yeah, and I included, if you got a PDF version of my report that went out late last week for this meeting, there's a link in there to it as well. So we can send the link again if you don't have it, but,
I'll look, I'm sure I have.
yeah, it's a Zoom meeting, and like I said, it's free, it's 2 hours, so do it from home. And, it's gonna cover that legislation from top to bottom.
What is the hours requirement, 4 hours of training?
4 hours every 4 years, after your first
Right.
year in your post. So we encourage you all to go, all the towns I work for, encouraging everybody to go, just, it'll give you a good baseline. You know, we had something similar for staff. Jeff and I went to a thing in Cromwell a month ago? Yeah. That was led by the COGS. I think this will be a little bit more in-depth, and this will be a little bit more of the legalese, and that's why we brought Haller and Sage on. They are, you know, they're keyed into everything that's going on in Hartford, and they are the heavy hitters in land use law for the state. So we figured, let's get the best and brightest to get the best interpretation of this thing that we possibly can. So, if you can attend, great.
I think I've already signed up.
I think you did.
I did.
I think you did.
You get
That's all I've got.
All right, so we have a public hearing scheduled for March 23rd for PZC-26-4. So you said previously that we do not have to accept them, that they can be done another way.
Yeah, it's essentially automatically accepted. Once it walks in the office, it is automatically accepted at the, either 35 days after it walks in the office or at your next regular meeting, per statute. Whether you take action to accept it or not, it is accepted at your next regularly scheduled meeting. So we've talked about this in office to try to expedite things a little bit. If you would prefer, if the commission would prefer, rather than bringing it here, doing the acceptance and scheduling, if the timing works out, because we have a month in between for legal notices and signage and all that sort of stuff. If an application walks in, we can look at the calendar date and tell them the next meeting that they can hit from a standpoint of legal notices when we can open the hearing, which could save a couple of
You'll make
weeks.
sure their application's complete, so we just
Yes.
gotta, okay.
Yes, and it gives us time to do all of that, because, you know, it's not like they're gonna walk in on a Thursday and open a hearing on Tuesday. It's gonna be at least, you know, not even the
Yeah, but
following,
now
it'd be
if
2
somebody
hours.
walked in tomorrow with an application, then instead of waiting 2 weeks,
Right,
the date could start tomorrow, right, for their 15 days?
right, it could. We could get them, if it walked in tomorrow, we could get them on the April 13th agenda for a public hearing, as opposed to coming here March 23rd and then getting pushed to April 27th.
So what this
So it would
would
save
do-
them 2 weeks.
It would move some of these people that have got these little businesses they wanna start, it would move them along quicker so they know they've got an answer
Right.
and they can do their thing.
Yeah,
So we would eliminate people like her coming in.
just to come here and say.
I get it, it's just like if we can expedite it, I'm
Alright.
good with that.
And-
Especially for the smaller things like that. I mean,
Right.
Any larger ones, we should see it beforehand.
Yep, any larger ones, I think we would bring it to you to give ourselves the added time that we need for any expert reviews or, you know, other departments
Well,
to
yeah, there's
review or
gonna be
whatever.
Additional
It's-
research.
Right, right, but there's plenty of other towns that do it this way. When I worked in Southington,
I think
nobody
that's-
came in for an
that's what we should be
acceptance, it
doing,
was just
definitely.
automatic.
I'm all for that, to
I am
move
too.
these smaller applications through, let these people know,
Right.
instead of waiting weeks, depending on when they first came in, then that they know they can do what they wanna do. So I'm all for
It
that.
saves them an appearance, so they only come once instead of
You
twice.
got anything to say about it?
These are all special permits, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is, the
Could be
general,
Site plan or special permit, yeah.
the general public does have 2 chances to see on an agenda of an item, right? When it goes in for acceptance of a public hearing, and
Yeah.
then when,
Well,
you know,
that's the other thing I was gonna
so they
say.
don't get the notice.
If we're gonna accept these ones in, they should show up on our agenda that they've been accepted somehow, so people
Sure.
do have that second
Yeah, if you
time
can put a
to.
date accepted by the planning
Sure,
office.
or we can even put a note at the bottom, scheduled here, public hearing scheduled. You know, after the adjournment, we could put a note at the bottom of that and list your upcoming,
Or other business,
hearings.
you can put the applicant and say, listen, it's coming on, we're having a public hearing on 4/13 for this person, and
Yep. Yep,
Because I
yeah,
think
so
we
we
really
can do
need to
that.
have that other time there for the public to see, take it, you know, see it, instead of just when the public hearing's happening.
Sure.
They can see it's happening, okay, it's gonna happen on this date.
plus there's 2 legal notices before.
Right, 2 legal notices, mailers to the abutters, a sign goes up on the there's plenty of notification. I bet you, most people that find out about public hearings do not find out about it because of the agenda, they're finding out about it because they got something in the mail, they saw the sign.
I think a lot of people do look at the agenda.
You think
though.
so?
Yeah, because
Oh, could be right.
It doesn't hurt
that, but I
Oh, no, it doesn't hurt at all, I'm not arguing against
I've
that.
had people question me on things that they see on the agenda down the line.
Yeah.
Like they'll
So-
ask me.
Yeah, we'll put it on the agenda, that's easy.
Yeah,
We can
I
certainly do
mean, I
that.
think it's only right,
Yep,
okay.
yeah, we're good.
Do we need to, anything other than the conversation on that, or conversation's good? Okay.
No motion needed.
No motion.
We just agree with your idea, it's a good idea.
Okay. Approval of minutes?
Under other business.
Other
I
business.
talked to you just some, are we ever gonna see a site plan for the Union Pin property?
Yeah, we met with Eric 2-3 weeks ago. He's made a lot of progress on that.
Well, you made a lot of changes and.
He has made a lot of
There's been nothing
changes.
that's come
I will
before
say,
for a
we've
site
been
plan.
on site multiple times. We talk to him anytime he wants to do something. I know you notified me that he started the demolition. He may have told someone else in the office, but in any event, we've been working with him, and we expect to see it sometime soon. I don't know what soon is exactly.
Is
But
that Eric Rhodes?
what's that?
What, that's Eric Road?
Richard at the marina.
At the
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, for the Union Pen, okay.
yeah,
I
he's
got
got
you.
to cross the
I
way.
was thinking of
Yeah.
Tiffany and Pickett, I think.
Oh God, no. We haven't started down that road yet.
Don't even go down there.
We have seen the plan. An engineering firm has been hired to develop the rest of the plan
For,
for the Union Pin site up there.
property,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, so it does exist and it is forthcoming. Like Jeff said, we're not totally sure what the timeline on that will be, but there actually is a plan designed by an engineering
Oh,
firm.
it's
Can you
just,
say
we're
what
getting
the
there.
plan is for that, rest of that?
Essentially, it's going to be parking and boat storage, but the plan will show the maintenance facility building that he would like to have. He doesn't know when he can actually put it up.
projects to put up in the future.
Yeah, future. Yeah.
So we've suggested that he show that building on the plan.
Oh, it'd
And,
be-
it's a 5-year approval. He can get 5 more years
Yep.
extension on it and
No,
hopefully
it'd be
10
nice
years
just,
from now, he's.
no, because I've had people asking me, and I said, we have no clue, and
Right.
so what, aren't you
Right.
a planning agency and zoning, and, yeah, but,
Yeah.
Yield Industries, Kenny Fracassa property,
Yeah, I reached out to the owner there and let him know that even though he's working on his end goal of what he's going to be doing, that the commission would like to see an intermediary permit there just for transfer yard situation as he's using it now. And he indicated that he would get on top of that. But
yeah, because the original approval before that was sold, it gave them a few years to clean that up, and I mean, we're
Right.
almost a couple of years down the road from
yeah,
that.
and there, there's definitely been more material coming in and going back out when it was still under Fracasso. They were trying to work the piles down and be
Right.
done. That obviously has changed. I do occasionally take a ride through there to make sure everything is tidy, especially with the wetland situation that he had there. So I don't have any
everything out of the
concerns.
wetlands?
I'm sorry?
Is everything removed from the wetlands?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's been clean and
Okay.
stable for a long time.
He's got a berm right along there, so nothing can get
Yeah,
into the wetland.
everything's good
He
there.
does pretty good, I think.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it looked
yeah.
really
But it
good.
would be nice to have a permanent place. So.
Well, just some updated information on
Right.
where it stands. I mean, it may be 2 more years to complete what was originally planned by, or sold to us and
Yep.
approved by us, so. Okay, it's good.
Anybody have any other business they want to bring up? No? You good? All right. So let's do the approval of the February 9th, 2026 regular meeting minutes. I move to approve them.
I'll second it.
Willie made a motion. and
Willie,
Willie?
Yeah,
I second.
Peter seconded.
Got it.
okay. All in favor? Scott wasn't here.
Yep.
I'm still approving.
One abstention.
One of
Can
them.
approve? No.
Okay,
He's
so
with
now we're
us.
to number 9, communications. Do we have anything from staff for communication?
I've communicated enough, I think.
You've communicated.
Nothing new.
At some point, we should be seeing something for 508 Main Street.
5-0, yes.
We should, yes. As
I know it's
you
been
guys
sold.
know,
It's
that yeah,
been
the
closed.
closing finally happened, so that's good.
Yep.
The chief person in that group comes into the office occasionally. He's been, communicating with staff about questions and that kind of thing, but we haven't gotten official plans
Yeah.
yet.
no,
But
But at least,
What's 508?
what's that?
What's 508 Main Street?
The town building where they tore the one down
Up by Kent Pizza.
by Kent
okay.
Pizza? Oh, Kent Pizza. Yeah, yeah.
Town just sold that.
That, there's 2 parcels there, and then the one behind it, which they list as High Street,
Okay.
where they tore the house down several years ago. All 3 pieces were sold. Last week, I think it was. Closed. Yeah.
basically the plan is for 14 condo units. That number is going up and down depending on, little revisions. Ground floor commercial, parking and rear access for the tenants above, and commercial down below. So,
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
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 So now, would
Good-looking
that
plan.
be something that we would accept, staff would accept it, or are we gonna have, will we do that in a regular meeting to give you time to review it?
That'll be a site plan, according to the new regulations that you just adopted, so a public hearing's not required.
Public hearing's not required.
Right, because it's a mixed-use building on Main Street.
What if they're tearing it down?
Well, the new building, yeah, the tear down would be done administratively, and
Yeah,
then the new
demolition
building,
So then
the new building would be a site plan.
So there's no approvals on a mixed-use building being created?
Just a site plan from you.
Basically replacing a mixed-use building now.
Right. And I mean, you know, as we talked about 3-4 months ago, mixed use is what you want to see on Main Street.
Right.
So we want to make that process as easy as we can. So this is proposed, at this time, it's proposed to be a mixed-use building, so they'd come in here, you would see the site plan, the parking, review all of those things, make sure it's compliant with your regulations, and away they go.
You're not changing the use of the High Street property, or is this it's demoed and it's?
So that's something that you can do this, what we talked about, where you can accept it.
Yeah, we wouldn't even need to, because we wouldn't have a public hearing
Oh,
for
that's
it.
true,
So,
right.
yeah, so that could come in and potentially could be approved in one night. And to answer your question on the High
But
Street
should-
side,
High Street's
High
parking
Street
lot.
has traditionally been parking back there anyway. Right now it's chained off because it's town owned and the
Right.
easement's a bit of a situation
All
back there.
grass,
But
right.
Any other discussion? No, okay, motion to adjourn.
I so move.
All in favor, everybody in favor?
Nobody.
it was unanimously made, seconded, and
Everybody did.
Peter, John, Scott, and Adam.
Everybody did. Unless you want to stay.
Okay, that's a musical group.
Responsible for changing the official.
And then they gotta move it ahead.